The 26th of April 1969, Manchester City Football Club captain Tony Book is presented with the FA Cup by Princess Anne after beating Leicester by 1-0 at Wembley. Photo by Wesley Keystone, Getty Images. The game is now an international game. By that I mean the Premier League has a number of foreign players ply their trade since its inception. Manchester City have been no different, with their own host of imports. Using the actual World Cup draw, I wanted to see who the Facebook followers of Man City Square would vote for. Of course, some countries do not have a player to have played in the Premier League, never mind Manchester City. In that instance I have used other home nations, or legends whose country is not going to the World Cup. Votes are now in from the recent Facebook poll to see another 8 Manchester City players drop away. Down to the final 8. Please don't forget to like the Facebook page and vote, as the rounds, now, are getting very close. Almost 700 votes were cast over the 2 days each poll was up. Starting tonight, and ending on Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, you will all get your chance to vote for the players to progress to the semi-finals. Page 2. Manchester, England, January 19. Mario Balotelli of Manchester City looks on from the bench during the Barclays Premier League match between Manchester City and Fulham at the Etihad Stadium on January 19, 2013 in Manchester, England. Photo by Michael Regan, Getty Images. In the first set of votes, which began on May 22, there were 4 different matchups, including only 2 current players. It produced a very tight poll indeed. Taking each on its own, let's see how the voting went. The first fixture saw the hot-headed Australian take on the Croatian. Luka played for us for just over 1 season, leaving for Spurs on deadline day in 2008. Signed only a year before by Sven, he enjoyed a decent season with the Blues. Danny Teodo was there for longer, and at a different time. Signed a decade before his opponent, he enjoyed back-to-back promotions with the Blues. He saw his fair share of red cards, and lack of discipline kept him out of the side on occasion. This is how the public voted. Ali Benarbia v Mario Balotelli. This one were really tight, in fact it couldn't be tighter. For different reasons, these 2 guys were much loved by Blues fans. Of course, Mario Balotelli for his off-field antics on the winding up of Rio Ferdinand. For Benarbia, he became a bright light for City in the earlier 2000s. Consistently bobbing around the bottom half of the table, Ali was great business, coming to Manchester on a free transfer. Playing all but one of his games at Main Road. The Algerian announced his retirement after the opening game at, what is now called, the Etihad. I place my votes in each fixture after the first few hours, and in this case, to break the tie, I withdrew my vote. That means Benarbia goes through. There is nothing I can say about Merlin, David Silva, which hasn't already been said. This past season, in particular, has been a highlight. All the off-field personal issues he's had to deal with while still giving us 100%. The opposition, Denis Law, did backheel that goal against United. However, he is also best remembered for playing in that atrocious red shirt. With that in mind, there was only going to be one winner. Sergio Aguero v Nicolas Anelka. Manchester City's record goal scorer against the incredible Sulk. Reports have been following the Argentinian throughout this season, and most have guessed that he will be off. Pep Guardiola is apparently not a fan, but Sergio Aguero shows no sign of moving on. Already record top scorer, and scorer of a very famous goal, he has nothing left to prove to the City fans. Luckily for us though, he hasn't made any noises in that direction and may still harbor hopes of a Champions League. On the other hand, Nicolas Anelka divided fans even when he played for us. His mood, detracted from his undoubted skill, and by the results of the poll, still leaves a sour taste in the mouths of City fans. Page 3 GLASGOW, Scotland, September 27. Alexander Kolarov of Manchester City FC speaks to the media ahead of the UEFA Champions League match between Celtic FC and Manchester City FC at Celtic Park on September 27, 2016 in Glasgow, Scotland. Photo by Mark Runnicles, Getty Images. The second round of votes began a day later, on May 23. A couple of names in this 8, very few City fans will have seen play live. 2 more are still with the Blues, while another 2 have recently departed the Etihad, 1 recently. The current holding midfielder, Fernandinho, was critical this season to allow the attacking players to do their thing. It was clear, when he wasn't in the side, how badly we missed him, and that just shows his importance. Billy Meredith was a pioneer in football, battling for fair wages and representation for players in the early 1900s. Moving to United after an inquiry he would eventually return. Welsh by birth, Meredith was a winger Pep would certainly include in his side. Full of running, he was extremely fit. The only thing he may not have appreciated would be the chewing on a toothpick he could always be seen doing during games. Vincent Kompany v Kazimierz Dana. Manchester City's captain Fantastic has been there from the start. Involved in all the silverware we've won since the FA Cup in 2011, he has raised most. Vincent Kompany is the club's most successful captain, with only European glory eluding him. Kaz, on the other hand, was born in Poland in 1947. Joining us in 1978, it was a different City from the previous decade. Staring an escape to victory, alongside former Blue, Mike Summerbee, Dana had a special place in City fans' hearts. Moving to America and signing for the San Diego Sockers, he finally retired in 1987. When Dana was killed in a car accident in San Diego in 1994, his number was retired by both Legia Warsaw and San Diego. Bert Trautmann v Alex Kolarov. The ex-German paratrooper was a real Roy of the Rovers type story. Booed by his own fans initially following the war, he went on to become a legend. A broken neck in an FA Cup final will do that for a player, but it was more than that. I never got to see Bert Trautmann play, but I have read with great interest stories from his life. Captured, escaping and being recaptured, it was meant to be that he played for the Blues. He may be the only person to get an FA Cup winner's medal, a British Obe and a German Order of Merit. Up against him was Mr. Christmas himself. The excitable Serb has only recently departed the Etihad for pastures new. Kolarov scored a few vital goals for the Blues, but would that be enough to have him move on to the next round? Yaya Toure v Tony Book. The recently departed Ivorian, Yaya Toure, certainly should be credited for his time at the club. Scoring in the FA Cup semi-final against United was enough to cement his name in City history in itself. To score in the final to secure our first trophy since 1976 made it official. The person in charge of the Blues when that previous trophy was won, was his opponent Tony Book. Book also captained the Blues to numerous successes, and our only European trophy-winning captain. Would that help Book defeat Yaya, and would the reports Toure might go to United hinder his vote count? Nope. Page 4. Use your arrows to browse. In Manchester, England, May 6, David Silva of Manchester City reacts during the Premier League match between Manchester City and Huddersfield Town at Etihad Stadium on May 6, 2018 in Manchester, England. Photo by Sean Botterill, Getty Images. With all the votes in, we now know which players have moved on into the final 8. Polls will be available on Facebook for the next 48 hours, ending Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Please head to the Facebook page, and share with your contacts, to help your players go through to the Final Four. Here are the matchups. Use your arrows to browse.